using for storing of electrical energy, but it consisting of two conductors with close proximity and insulated from each other. Example, parallel plate capacitor. Suppose if positive charges with total total charge plus Q are deposited on one of the conductor and an equal amount of negative charge minus Q is deposited on the second conductor. Here we are using two conductors, right? So here the capacitor is said to have a charge Q. Here only, electrical double layer is formed. I will show to you a schematic diagram. First, you have to understand here, capacitor is device used for storing of electrical energy. What are the applications? What are the applications of capacitors? Actually, in digital circuits, information is stored in large computers or memories. If sudden fluctuations are coming, everything will be, if sudden momentary electric power failure is there, everything, entire data will be lost during a electric jerk. But the electric energy stored in such capacitors maintain the formation during the temporary loss of power. This is the very, very, very important application, highest important application. Due to sudden failure of power, these act as good storages, including memories, everything, data, as filters to divert electrical signals and thereby prevent damage to sensitive components. Suppose in anywhere sensitive, things are there in any instrument, including computers and then in industries, everywhere, fridge. These can be prevent from damage due to, circuits caused by electric surges everywhere. These are the major applications. Anywhere these are using. Now we are going to the topic supercapacitors. Supercapacitors are electrochemical energy storage devices that store and release energy. So whenever it is required, it will be stored. Actually, it is stored electrical energy. At the same time, whenever it is required, it is released the energy by reversible absorption and desorption of ions. Here two conductors are there now. Hence, both the process will occur here. Reversible absorption as well as desorption of ions at the interfaces between electrode materials and electrolyte. Electrode materials, electrodes are cathode and anode. Electrolytes are different. So in between these two, supercapacitors are electrochemical energy storage devices that store and release energy by reversible absorption and desorption of ions at the interfaces between electrode and electrolytes. Actually, the energy storage systems are playing vital role in all fields, such as electric vehicles, power systems, especially power systems. Hence, these are very, very important. These are playing vital role now. Supercapacitors are a type of new energy saving and conversion equipments that is supposed to have the potential of high power density. See, potential of high power density, great circulation future, rapid charge and discharge. Rapidly it will occur. Simultaneously charge and discharge. Discharge and charge. Maintenance free, poor, self-discharging. Some situations, if we are taking batteries, they are automatically self-discharging. After some times, they may not work. But supercapacitors are poor self-discharging. Safe working and also economically viable, low cost, cheap. So these are the advantages of supercapacitors. So supercapacitors are energy saving and conversion equipments. These having potential of high power density, great circulation feature, rapid discharge and charge, maintenance free, poor self-discharging, safe working and low cost. Actually, various porous materials, including porous carbon, nickel oxide, iron manganese oxide composites are mainly used for fabricating supercapacitors due to their great electrochemical characteristics. Due to their great electrochemical characteristics. Why we are using here porous material, porous carbon, we are using graphenes, we are using carbon nanotubes, we are using as a supercapacitors because due to large surface area, first thing. Classification, actually based on mechanism of energy saving, supercapacitors are broadly categorized into two kinds. They are double layer capacitors, electrical double layer capacitors, EDLC. Electrostatically double layer capacitors and pseudo capacitors. This is the broad classification of the supercapacitors. Double layer capacitors are further divided into activated carbons and then carbon aerosols. What is the, we are using on that as electrodes, activated carbon and carbon aerosols. Means carbon nanotubes, graphene, carbide derivatives, like that we are using here, double layer capacitors. In the pseudo capacitors, double layer capacitor and then pseudo capacitor both are charge storage, but double layer capacitors are Helmholtz layers. These are electrostatical in nature. Pseudo capacitors are Faraday change transfer, charge transfer. These are electrochemical in nature. Here, charge storage occurs due to electrostatically. Here, charge storage occurs electrochemically. That is the difference between double layer capacitors and pseudo capacitors. Pseudo capacitors are also further dividing into conducting polymers, metal oxides. Metal oxides like molybdenum sulfide, molybdenum oxide, nickel oxides, like that. Between these two, hybrid capacitors are there. Hybrid capacitors. In the hybrid capacitors, asymmetric electrodes are used. In the double layer capacitors, pseudo capacitors, in everywhere capacitors we are using 2 electrodes. In hybrid capacitors we are using asymmetric electrodes. Here combination of double layer and then pseudo capacitors. Charge storage occurs electrostatically as well as electrochemically. That's why these are known as hybrid capacitors. So, charge storage occurs electrostatically and electrochemically. If we are taking double layer capacitors, charge storage occurs only electrostatically. If we are taking pseudo capacitors, charge storage occurs electrochemically. But in the hybrid capacitors, charge storage can occur. Charge storage will be electrostatically and electrochemically. Here, asymmetric, pseudo, double layer capacitors, composites, rechargeable battery types. Actually, batteries also 2 types, right? Rechargeable and then dead batteries, primary batteries and secondary batteries. Secondary batteries are known as rechargeable batteries. So, like that, super capacitors also, one type is there, like rechargeable battery type. So this is the broad classification of the super capacitors. Super capacitors are first broadly classified into double layer capacitors. Here, charge storage occurs electrostatically due to Helmholtz layer formation. Pseudo capacitors, charge storage occurs electrochemically to Faraday change transfer. Double layer capacitors are further divided into activated carbons and then while using of the material, activated carbons and then carbon aerosols, examples carbon nanotubes, graphenes, carbide derivatives, carbon derived carbons. Pseudo capacitors also divided into conducting polymers and then metal oxides. With the combination of double layer capacitor and then pseudo capacitor, hybrid capacitors are there. Here charge storage is occurs due to electrostatically and then electrochemically. These are further divided into asymmetric, pseudo, double layer capacitors, composites, rechargeable battery type. This is the broad classification of the super capacitors. And what is the basic principle involved in the working of supercapacitors? The energy storage in supercapacitors is mainly in the interface between electrodes and electrolytes. Energy storage in supercapacitors is mainly in the interface between electrodes and electrolyte, whatever we are using. This energy storage method has great relationship with electrode material. What is the electrode material we are using? What is the electrode material we are using? Supercapacitors are mainly composed of current collectors, electrodes, electrolytes, and separators. The role of separator has the same function as the separator in the battery. It isolates the 2 electrodes to prevent short circuit between electrodes and allows ion to pass through. The basic principle of supercapacitor energy storage is to store electrical energy through the formation of electric double layer. See here, electric double layer. This is the schematic diagram of this supercapacitor. These two are electrodes, two electrodes. Here we are using two electrodes. This is the separator. Here electric double layer is formed. Here also electric double layer is formed. This is the activated carbon we are using as an electrolyte. This is the separator. You can observe clearly here. So this is the electrolyte material. Here and here, electrolyte material. This is the separator. The separator. Then these two are electrodes. Here electric double layer is formed. Here also electric double layer is formed. This is the working schematic diagram and then working principle of the supercapacitor. So the basic principle of supercapacitor energy storage is to store electrical energy through the formation of electric double layer. Electric double layer capacitance formed by the charge separation. Charge separation on the interface between the electrolyte and electrode. This is the electrolyte. This is the electrode. So are you observing cursor? Hello? Here, energy through the, yeah. మీ కర్సర్ కనిపిస్తుందమ్మా?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So the basic principle is, energy storage is electrical energy through the formation of electric double layer by the charge separation and the interface between electrolytes. This is the electrolyte. This is the electrode. Interface between electrode and electrolyte. This is the basic principle involved in the supercapacitor. Supercapacitor. So what are the major differences between battery and then supercapacitors? Batteries also energy storing. From the batteries also we are storing the energy. But supercapacitors also we are using for storage, energy storage devices. What is the major difference here? Here in the batteries chemical storage, only energy is stored as a chemical storage. High energy density is there in the battery. But in capacitor, surface charge storage. Continuously, the interface is formed in between electrolyte and electrode. Electrolyte and electrode. Due to that, electric double layer is formed. This is the surface charge storage. Low energy density here in the supercapacitors. But in the battery, high energy density is there. So here, reactant diffusion, low power densities. So diffusion occurs. But here, high power density. Here it has to high energy density. Energy density. Actually, it requires much energy. It requires low energy. But power, whatever it is supplying, it is giving more power, high power. But this is giving less power when compared to supercapacitors. Suppose batteries 10 watts per kg, but Supercapacitors, 1 kilowatt per kg. Where is a, 10 watts, where is a 1 kilowatt? That is the importance of the supercapacitor. Batteries having low cycle life due to degradation, self-degradation. But supercapacitors having high cycle life, more or less 105 cycles, it can work due to poor self-degradation capacity. Poor supercapacitors are poor self-degrading. Batteries are, easily self-degradable. These are the major differences between batteries and then supercapacitors. Hence, we are using supercapacitors in majority of the situations, wherever necessity. So actually, energy storage mechanism, we can explain cyclic voltammetry and then voltammetric curve. Cyclic voltammetry in the sense, energy is stored and then formed in the form of cycle. In the form of cycle. In the supercapacitors. So hence supercapacitors having low energy density, high power density, high cycle life, poor self-degradation capacity, great circulation feature, rapid discharge and charge. Hence, we are using widely in various applications as a supercapacitors. That is the supercapacitors definition, classification, schematic diagram of the supercapacitor, and then applications of the supercapacitor we discussed.